Welcome to Allies or Enemies. This time we are looking at Zombie Teenz Evolution. Designed by Annick Lobet, Zombie Teenz is a 2 to 4 player cooperative game and a sequel to the hit Zombie Kids. It shares a lot of DNA with its predecessor, but changes up the gameplay and adds a few more layers. Also like its predecessor, it has been racking up awards and kudos as one of the best kids games on the market. And with the cool art, a bunch of envelopes to open, and a great theme, it's easy to see why. But does the play live up to this style, and can it work for adults? Well, let's start with how it works.
Because it is a legacy game, Zombie Teenz adds bits and complexity as it goes, but we're not going to spoil anything here, so let's just talk about the basics. You start your turn by rolling the dice. If you roll a color, you either move that zombie or add it to the appropriate sewer. If you roll a question mark, you draw a card. Some of these are helpful, most are not. If the zombies ever reach a building, they overrun and, of course, add a trampoline, which they can then use to bounce to the next clockwise building without walking on the streets between. Then you get to do 2 actions, which can be any combination of moving to an adjacent space, attacking a zombie on your space, which instantly removes it, or passing a crate to or taking a crate from an adjacent teammate. Your goal is to move all 4 crates from the corners into the school at the center to make a cure for zombies. You lose if the zombies overrun all 4 buildings before you do so. And at least to start, that's all there is to it.
Zombie Teenz is simple. It is meant for kids after all, and in some ways it shows. But don't write it off. There is some challenge in this box. The envelopes add a bunch of aspects to the game that help build both complexity and challenge. The game also offers missions that can get fairly tricky. We had one that took us 5 runs to finally get. And the buzz of collecting is hard to shake. After every game, you add a sticker to your experience sheet. If you beat a mission, you also add a trophy. If you beat a cluster of missions, you also add a shield. All of these stickers bring you closer to opening envelopes and getting cool stuff. And the stuff is always cool. Kids will love it, but we played all the way through, adults only, and honestly, it was a blast. At the end of it all, the game is still okay, but the 30-ish plays that you get are worth the modest price alone.
Zombie Teenz does a good job of scaling. On the surface, it looks like it is a 4-player game, and it is fun with 4, but 2 works fine. With 2, you have an extra helper who just stays in the school, so you have someone to pass crates to. You do have the challenge of having to balance being in the same corner with your partner with catching those zombies that are on the far side before they overrun. With 4, the challenge is a little bit different. It's more coordination, as you need to organize your line to pass things while also paying attention to who can get where before what zombie can do what. It's a slightly different puzzle, but both challenges are fun, though the game is simple enough that if a twosome wants to play with 2 characters each as though they were 4 players, they could easily do so.
The big story here is the art style, which is somewhere between Teen Titans and Gravity Falls. It hits that perfect cool balance that kids and adults can generally agree on. The characters and zombies all look great, and everything is a nice, chunky size. The 3D crates are a terrific touch, as are the overrun squares that exactly line up with the art underneath. They really do the small things well with the design here. The rulebook feels like a comic, the stickers are all great quality, the colors are super bright. This package at this price honestly feels like a steal.
If you've got kids around 8 years old and up, this game is a no-brainer. Get it. If you don't have kids, well, we still obviously liked it, but there are some big caveats. Even though we had fun with it, it is meant as a kids or family game. Games only take 15 minutes, the rules are ultra simple, it all looks like a cartoon, and once you've finished the missions, you're not that likely to keep coming back to it. But sometimes you just want a light Saturday morning of smashing zombies, and if you're the kind of adult that doesn't get embarrassed about knowing all their Pokemon, can spend a day playing with Legos, and still gets excited for the next Pixar movie, there is fun to be had in these silly envelopes. And that is it. Let us know if there are any other kids' games that you would recommend for adults that don't take themselves too seriously. And please do like and subscribe, and hopefully we will see you all next time for another game.